You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Buckler, and today my guest is Robert Tiller. Robert's the CEO of Tiller Design, a firm based in Sydney. Robert, welcome to Health Professional Radio.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks very much.
Now, Robert, Tiller Design, I guess, is a design company, but tell me a little bit about what you do and what your geographic footprint is.
Indeed, thanks. Well, Tiller Design is predominantly a product design and development company, and we actually specialise as a consultancy business in helping people bring their ideas to the market. So we also move from design into manufacture and commercialisation. We do that across the planet, actually. Our prime customer base is Australia and the USA, and a few clients in Europe.
Okay, so that pretty much makes you a one-stop shop in the design and production of new products.
It does, but it's better to think of it as a team that can move across the entire journey of a product coming from conception to the market. So quite often we'll find companies that need part of the journey resolved or the entire journey resolved. So we can line up and do everything, as you say, a one-stop shop. But more commonly, we will get heavily involved in the product design and development and occasionally involved in their full commercialisation.
Robert, most of our listeners are clinicians of one sort or another, often in acute care or aged care. What's the kind of illustration of a product that fits into your model?
It's really quite interesting. Acute care, aged care equipment. So you need to think really broadly about this, and sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. So any product or service, for that matter, that people are using or touching, whether it's chairs, knives, forks, tables, cooking equipment, beds, whatever it might be, somebody's designed that. And the good products are the ones that have been carefully considered and solve the problems that people might experience in their daily use. So really our profession bends and twists into any walk of life. Medical devices and so on is one area of specialty, but we actually cross into all sorts.
I see. You're quite right when you say someone had to design that, and as you were saying it, I was thinking, no, surely not a knife or a fork. They've just, oh yes, I guess someone did have to design them. Yeah,
and it's not always the case that they're designed well, and I guess that's, luckily for us, that's why our profession exists.
Yes, that's often I think if professions worked better than they did, then most of us wouldn't have jobs anymore, because a lot of us are employed in fixing things that don't work very well.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, a lot of innovation comes from grassroots. I mean, I love grassroots innovation, and then if you marry that with professional services like Tiller Design or our product development processes, you can actually get some amazing results.
So, Robert, what's the takeaway message for clinicians listening? What would you like them to take away from our chat today?
I think clinicians from all walks of life and different medical practices would no doubt know the problems of their industry, if you like. So they would know the problems that their end users, their customers experience, and sometimes they might not even realise it. So, it'd be great for clinicians to think about where there's a significant problem, and if they're brave enough to then share it with companies like ours to find out if there's any commercial upside or even some potential to turn that into a small startup or even a product that might reach the market.
I wonder if you've got any view about what inhibits people from doing that.
Yeah, it's a particular personality. We meet different types of clients. We have established companies, obviously, but then at the other end of the spectrum, we get what we call sometimes, forgive me, the mad scientist, all the way through to the sophisticated inventor. So it's a huge undertaking to commercialise a product, let alone bring one to market in the first place. And quite often, one of the big misconceptions I see are people have a good idea and they think because they've had a good idea, it is a good idea. It's not always, obviously. And quite often they'll feel it's about the product, whereas it's not about the product. It's really about the problem and how innovative and scalable the solution might be for that problem. And in my world, that means a problem is solved by a device being created.
Mm-hmm.
Like a smartphone, for example, didn't exist once. Now it exists. It's obviously a very successful object in product design. Similarly, in the medical space, there's thousands of problems, and there's many a person has tried to start up or an answer but not many of them make it to market because it's a very arduous path that it has to go through.
Robert, that path is something that I guess you take people along as your core product. Now, you mentioned misconceptions a moment ago. I do like misconceptions because they always illustrate things. Is there a greatest misconception amongst your clients and customers that drives you nuts and keeps you awake at night?
I think it's the one I mentioned a minute ago, actually. It's that everybody believes it's about the product. They think that their idea is the best idea ever, and they focus very firmly on the product. Now, that's quite valid, but it's the product and the product design process, even though that's my core business, is one part of the whole journey in evaluating whether you should even bother trying to bring something to market. And the big guys do this very well. They spend years researching problems and years coming up with ideas on how to solve them. And, only one in probably 100 ever make it to market. So whilst it's good to get excited by your ideas and your observation of them solving a problem, it's really important to validate that's worth pursuing and be very clear in your mind whether you want to pursue it for philanthropic reasons, i.e. it's a great problem to solve because everyone will benefit, or commercial reasons, or both. Most of the time we meet people that want to do it because they need a commercial outcome, a positive commercial outcome.
Robert, it's been a pleasure having you chat with us this morning. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, we're based in Sydney. They can reach out to our website, which is tillerdesign.com. And the best thing is probably to pick up the phone and have a chat. And we love sharing people's ideas, and very much so look forward to helping anyone who's got any ideas if they think it's got legs.
And the number for people who want to reach out to you?
Is 02 9818 5251.
And I'll just mention the website again because I'm always getting into trouble for people not getting websites down quickly enough. It is tillerdesign.com, TILLER design.com. And that's where you can find Robert Tiller, the CEO of Tiller Design, who we've been chatting with this morning. If you've just missed our chat, well, the good news is we have a transcript on our website at www.hpr.fm. You can also hear an archive of this conversation on SoundCloud and on YouTube. Robert, thank you for your time. I do appreciate you being with us today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Wayne.
You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Buckler.